we're waiting. While I'm waiting here, I was just looking at some old pictures. These are how I know that you don't need to spend too much money on a renovation. These are some of the things that I used to do. Silliness. Look at this. This is a project from back in, maybe over a decade ago now. Look at that. That's a 2-story waterfall. Literally, I built a waterfall inside of a house. Did I get my money back on that? Well, yes, but only because I did all the work myself. Literally, these little pebbles, I don't know if you can see them here, but they were like, this is like a tile, like the rock looking tile. And the water would come down up here, 2 stories high. And it would shoot off of the rocks. So it would shoot like outside of the little catch basins that bring the water back up. So I had to go up there with like a angle grinder and grind them down. So that way it would stop shooting the water off of there. But the only way to actually see where the water was shooting off was to have the water flowing on this waterfall. So I had an angle grinder that was like electric, and I had to get shocked while I was grinding those things off. So I don't do pretty crap like that anymore, though, because you don't make your money back. That's what today's video is all about, is that you just don't make your money back. Look at that. That's custom built. These are concrete countertops that I poured and polished and all that kind of stuff. Concrete, custom. Did I get my money back for all that stuff? Hell no. Cedar, come on, man. I did that stucco myself. I almost cut my finger off, actually. Built the decks, all of this, all custom. It was a 1-story house when I bought it. I took the roof off, built a 2nd story. And, it's pretty and it's cool. And it's a great part of my portfolio. First big project I ever did. Learned a lot on that one. But it was many years later I learned that you don't actually make money doing any of this stuff. Here's another one that I did. It was a 1-story house, made it 2 stories, and did all kinds of pretty crap on it. But again, just you don't make the returns. Actually, this was the one, if you ever hear me talk about disaster houses, this was the one that I lost 6 figures on. Look at that. Welded a staircase. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. However, you just don't make your money back. All right, I'm going to get on it though, guys. This one is part of my video today though. Okay, so these are the 4 upgrades that people do on house flips that don't make them any money whatsoever. They think it does, but it does not. And I would know because, I've done these pretty houses like this. And, now I don't do that because at some point in my career, I realized that, hey, a lot of this stuff is great for my portfolio, to show pictures to my friends or whatever, if that's your thing. But they don't make me any freaking money. And guys, we're here to make money. That's the goal. Nothing to be shy about with that. Obviously, if you're going to do something, you should get paid to do it. So, number 1 is actually this one that I was showing you pictures of. This house right here. One of the early projects that I did in my career. And you won't be able to see it in the pictures, and I'm about to tell you why. But custom, okay, all of the trim was oak. It was done. I sanded it down. This door is built by hand. The doors throughout the house built. The trim was all oak. You can see all this stuff is built custom. Okay, and when I went to sell this house, I had to take a discount. And the reason that I had to take a discount is because the people who were buying it wanted white doors and white trim painted. They wanted me to paint that beautiful custom staircase. They wanted it white. All of this, they wanted it white. Okay, now why is that? All right, if you guys know, the oak cost me like thousands of dollars to do all this oak throughout the house. And these people come in and they want white because what you see on HGTV, if you go to like whos.com, you go to like different places that are showcasing what a nice house looks like. They all have white trim and white doors, and every house that person went to before they went to mine had white trim, white doors. They had gray floors. And, everybody talks about the flipper looking house that is the gray and the white, and, it's basic or whatever. But here's the thing. That's what buyers see. So what seems normal to them is white and gray. Okay, you don't want to be abnormal. In fact, a lot of what we talk about here is how you find the statistical center of a neighborhood and you plant your house right in the center of that. Okay, so by doing custom things, you spend a lot of extra money and you don't get any of it back. And here's why, okay? Just think about this. Everything in business comes down to supply and demand. So what you want to do is you put your house on the market to sell, and that is a supply of one. The supply in housing is always, fairly small versus the demand because everybody's looking on Zillow or going through the realtor. Okay, so you want to have the most demand possible for that house. I don't even think that I need to draw this for you, right? You got your house here, and then you have as many eyes as possible on it. But what happens if you have this custom stuff? Oak, dark oak. Okay, some people really like that. Okay, but not really like it, will pay more for that house versus the rest of the house in the neighborhood, right? Because as you guys know, here's the range of comps that houses sell for. And just because I have oak doesn't mean it's going to sell for more than other houses in the neighborhood have sold for. Okay, and so, but what I do by doing the oak is I take this person out, take this person out, take this person out, take this person out. Now I only have a couple people looking at it. They can still only pay the same amount, but the demand is now smaller for this house. So in fact, just like in the house that I was showing you, I actually had to take less money for it because I had less people who wanted the house because of the freaking oak doors, because people, especially at that time, were used to seeing the white. So these upgrades, these custom upgrades like trim, like doors, like paying extra money for this more custom type of stuff, there's just no return on it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is windows and siding. And a lot of people are going to disagree with this. But here's the deal, is there's really when you think about any upgrade in a house, you have your safety and liability, then you have your utility, then you have your cosmetic. Okay, so windows and siding, there is some safety and liability to do with windows and siding, but not really. Mostly it's utility. So what's the job of windows and siding? The job is to keep water out of your house. Water getting into your house damages other things, and that can cause way bigger issues. So yes, the utility has to be met. Then the rest is cosmetic. Okay, and what most people are buying a house for are the kitchen and the bathrooms. Almost all of the bathrooms, but we're going to get to that in a second. Okay, because who actually makes the buying decision with most houses? When, you're selling to a family, who's making the decision? I'm married. I know who makes the decision on what nest we're going to have. Okay. And so, if you're you might care about the utility. You might care that, it'd be great to have new siding because new siding and windows will keep the water out or whatever. But cosmetic speaking, it doesn't matter all that much, but it matters with this one concept, which is what I call the big three. Okay, so basically, like what you want to do is all the way from the start, as you're building the scope of work out for a house and thinking about the work that you're going to do on the house, you're thinking about how somebody is going to approach that house, where they're going to drive up to it in the neighborhood, where they're going to park their car, what door they're going to go into. Okay, there are houses that I've owned before where I knew that people were going to approach the side door and not the front door. So I focused my efforts on the side door, not the front door. But let's just say that it is this front door. So there's this concept that I call the big three. Okay, and I think about it like this. Have you guys ever seen like the band Slipknot? Right? They wear these masks and they're scary, like freaky looking people. And if you saw this guy, you'd be terrified of him, right? But then, on Sunday, he's going to church, got a suit on, he's going to church with his grandma, and it's like you would have a totally different picture of that guy. Like if you saw him at the Walmart self-checkout, you'd be like, that guy's not going to steal anything. Whereas Slipknot guy, you'd be thinking, he's going to take me in the back room and probably take me out. Okay, so the way that person is perceived is much different. And we try to use the same filtering methodology for a house. So if I know what way they're going to pull up to the house and I spend more of my budget on the first thing they see, now I've created a totally different filter in which they see that house. Just imagine they pull up and they see like tarps in the front. They see like your used paint that, somebody's coming to pick up in a couple days. They're already thinking, ooh, God, this is like a half-assed house. Like it's not done yet. And now they're going to see the rest of the house through that. They're going to find all these little things that they didn't find before because, that's just the perception they have. However, if they walk up to the house and everything is perfect, nice landscaping, not overdone, but perfect. It's well done landscaping. There's, maybe you put some extra money to wrap the beams on the front porch. Maybe you put some extra money to put some shutters around the window. Now they have a different filter through which they see the rest of the house. And this makes all the difference when you're going to sell a house. Now this is where siding and windows comes into play. Going to be an unpopular opinion, but it is the truth. I will do windows and siding on a house on the front or whatever way that they're going to pull up. And of course, I will repair windows and siding if there's a utility issue. But other than that, it's a cosmetic thing. And nobody goes and looks at the sides and the back of the house. Okay, by the time they go out the back door, they've already made their decision whether they're buying or not. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. And so literally, I will take the siding off of the front of a house if it's, like worn and bad looking. I'll take the siding off and then I'll use that siding to patch in any utility problems with the sides and the back, because that way if you buy like new siding for the side of the house, the side of the house may have been sun faded. So now it looks different. So it's better to just reuse the stuff from the front. And then I'll put new siding on the front. I might even do a couple new windows on the front because that's all part of that big three filter building methodology. And then the rest of the house, once again, guys, safety. All right. Usually there's not a safety issue with windows and siding, but utility is water getting in. If water's getting in and there's gaps, you got to fix it. That's fine. But then the third step is cosmetic. Doing the sides and back of the house is not going to help me sell the house. I'll tell you, people will complain about it when they go to buy the house. They'll say, oh, I really want new windows. Well, you don't have them. You're going to buy the house or not. And Almost always they will. I've never had somebody walk because of the windows. Okay, and even in these like really nice houses that I showed you, sorry, not that one, these houses here that I did back in my do nice stuff days. Okay, you can see these windows here that I had to do because I was like building a second story or whatever. They're like the cheapest vinyl windows you can get, and I didn't get one single complaint about it. Okay, so the point is here, windows don't matter as much as people will have you believe. And your realtor, hopefully my wife can't hear me, her office is right next door. She owns a brokerage. But the realtor will absolutely tell you you should do new windows and new siding because it's going to make it easier to sell. Like they're definitely going to have to, have some conversations. But I'm telling you, it's not going to stop you from getting the max amount that you could get for that house, right? In the range of comps. Trying to get the house to the range of comps. And the windows and siding is not going to take you out. Okay, if they're not utilized, or if the utility is not correct, if they're not working, obviously it's going to be a problem. So you're going to make sure they're repaired. Same concept here for bathrooms. And this is another one where everybody thinks that you need to do all kinds of bathrooms. You need to like upgrade your bathroom. So for one, we do the baseline, right? If all the houses in the neighborhood, doing construction comps there, if all the houses in the neighborhood have shower inserts, we're doing shower inserts. If all the houses in the neighborhoods have subway tiles, we're doing subway tiles. If it's like all the houses in the neighborhood have custom showers and all that kind of stuff, you're buying in the wrong neighborhood. That's what I would say. But if that's what it is, that's what it is. However, with this one caveat, same thing with the big three. Here's your front door. This is the path that we know people are going to walk in when they come in. Okay. Hopefully, I can have a house where I can see the kitchen from the front. That's always the best. And let's say that I have, a bedroom here and maybe a bedroom here and a bedroom here. Okay, but I have a bathroom right here with a door right when you walk in. I don't know if that's a normal layout or whatever. Okay, this bathroom right here is going to get the works, guys. I'm going to go real nice with this bathroom. Green bathroom, right? It's going to get the highest that I can move up on the range of comps. The nicest stuff that they're doing there, I'm doing on that bathroom because it's part of my big three. It's one of the first three things that people are going to see. First, they're going to see all of this right here, all the curb appeal, everything that you did on the front porch. And then they're going to walk in and they're going to see, great if they can see a kitchen, which you do the nice things to the kitchen. Not overdo it, but you do the nicest things in the neighborhood on the kitchen. And then they're going to see this bathroom. That's part of my big three now. Okay, I need that to look nice because now they're thinking the rest of the house is at that same level. That's the mindset they have now. Whereas if this was like really dingy, now they're looking at the rest of the house through the dingy filter. Okay, however, if this same bathroom is right here, now I got to walk through the house. I've already made my decision by the time I get here. Not getting those big upgrades. Okay, not saying that it's going to be shabby, but I'm saying that I'm thinking more like here or lower than over here if it's in the back half of the house, because the filter's already created. They've already made the decision whether they're buying or not by the time they get to that point. Hey, I see a lot of you guys on there. Hit me in the comments if you guys got questions. That's what the live's all about. I'd just be making videos and editing them and putting them on if we wanted to be stale and boring here. So hit me in the comments. I'm pointing that way because I can see it on my computer. Okay, cool. So bathrooms, if they're part of the big three, yes, push on them. If they're not, new windows change the look of a house. Fred, yes, they do. That's why if it's in the front of the house and it's part of my big three, I would be looking at upgrading those or making them new. Sides and back, you've already made the decision, so it's all about utility at that point. That is what my experience tells me, is that it doesn't actually make the difference that my realtor wife might make me think it does. Okay, so we have last thing. That I want to talk about is utilities. Okay, so when I'm talking about utilities, I'm talking mostly about mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So mechanical is HVAC, for you guys that don't know, and electrical and plumbing. That's MEP, right? And this is where, you know, there's like this sickness that I call New-builder-itis. It's a virus. JP, so the big three is just the first three things. Yes, absolutely. Okay, it's all about creating this filter in which they see the rest of the house. So I'm literally thinking, like, even as I'm buying a house, I'm thinking, what way are people going to have to drive up to this house? So, like, for instance, I have this house that's on a major street. This is a major street right here. Okay, this is a rental of mine, but anyway, it's right here on this major street. Okay, and I know that nobody's parking on this major street and coming to the front door. So we built parking in the back, put a nice fence right here, so people come in and they park right here. Okay, I know that they're not going to walk around the house to this front, so I didn't do anything to the front. It is like as basic as can be. There's like a front door with a tiny porch or whatever, just whatever it took to meet code standards. I knew that they were coming right in this door right here. Okay, so they come into this entryway. It was like a really bad setup. Kitchen's over here. All right, so I did all kinds of things. Like, I put this nice fence up. We did like gravel in this parking here. There's like some nice like outdoor patio kind of stuff here. All kinds of landscaping, which the landscaping ends right here. It's like wild, I know. Everything that I could do to make this as nice as possible. Privacy fence on this side because I had ugly neighbors over here. And then right in here, you know, you got like not much to work with. So for one, I'm trying to open this up to where they can see into the kitchen as they open this and see like some piece of the kitchen, like a fridge or something that, you know, pulls them in and starts giving them a positive feel. You know, but maybe you do like some benches or whatever. This is a rental, so a little different than a flip. Same concepts though. All right, but you get the idea. I know that these are the first things that they're going to see, so I know that I need to create the filter through which they see the rest of the house. And no reason to do anything on the front because nobody's going to see it. You know, this road is too fast, whatever. They're coming through the alleyway. Hopefully that answers your question, JP. All right, so utilities. That's what we're getting ready to talk about is MEP. And we were going to talk about this. I wish if I could draw a skull and crossbones, that's what I would do here. And that's the New-builder-itis. This is a sickness that a lot of your contractors have. That's a skull and crossbones, guys. Okay, I don't know what this is anymore. So renovations are really difficult in that there's a lot of grandfathering rules and such, which I know I've talked about a lot in other videos. And basically, the easy thing to do would be to walk in, talking about mechanical, electrical, plumbing, walk in and say, all this messed up. We got to rip it out, start again. That's what a lot of people will say. Whereas it's going to be rare to find the type of mechanical, electrical, plumbing contractor who will say, you know what, I can make this work. I can, you know, branch off of this and fix this thing and do a repair there. And we can work with what we got, guys. And it's rare to find those guys. So generally, you have to get educated yourself. I'm not going to get too far into that right now because this is about how basically those things aren't going to increase the value, right? So this New-builder-itis is a virus that you're going to be fighting your entire career. And you're going to see it, like, if you go look through comments of some of my videos, people are hitting these things all the time. Like, oh, well, you can't, contractors won't do this thing, or they won't do that. Yeah, they will. I've been doing it for 17 years. I know that you can find the people to do these things. I know that you don't have to tear that house down. I know that it's repairable. Okay, so a lot of it is stuff you're going to have to learn yourself. Okay, but the person who's buying the house, obviously they don't want to buy a crappy house. Okay, so they are going to get it inspected when they go to buy the house. And if there are scary things that are like safety and liability concerns, it is going to come up on that inspection, right? Because if you guys have sold a house before, you know that you go to, you put the house on the market, and then you get it under contract. And then there is the inspection resolution. They hire the home inspector to come in. And here's the thing. Okay, so a lot of people, what they do is they pay for like all these mechanical, electrical, plumbing upgrades because they don't want stuff to come up on the inspection report because they're afraid of dealing with that. They think it's going to tank the deal. And here's the deal, guys. Think about it. The home inspector gets paid to find crap wrong with your house. Even a brand new build, somebody who's the best builder in your town, they're getting their house, when it gets sold, inspectors coming in, and they are finding things. Those guys get paid to find things. They are going to find things. Okay, and so it's like, if you're going to have this list of 5 things, even if you go try to fix everything in the house, you pay $20,000, $30,000 to do all new stuff, they're still going to find those 5 things. There's just going to be a different 5 things. So one way or another, you're going to deal with those things. The other side is going to know that, oh, hey, there are some issues with the mechanical, electrical, plumbing. And for any agent that's worth anything on the other side, they're going to talk them through those things. Like, oh, that's not a big issue. I've seen this on other houses. We can work through this. Let's just ask them to do it. Because that other realtor wants the house to go through as well. And so there is only one reason that I'm upgrading any mechanical, electrical, or plumbing. And that's because it's a safety and liability concern. All right, that's it. And well, I guess reason 2 is, of course, yes, safety and liability always. And then if it doesn't work or doesn't pass codes, meaning it doesn't pass inspections, is a more important thing. 2 different types of inspections. There's the inspections that you get from the city if you've pulled permits, and there's the inspection that the seller is going to get when they go to buy the house. Okay, so obviously both of those make me fix something. First, if I pull permits and the inspector says I have to do this, and I'll usually push back. Those are in other videos. I'll usually push back. Okay, but if I have to do it, I have to do it because I got to get the permit passed so I can get the house to the market. And if the home inspector comes and they find these things, then of course, we're going to negotiate back and forth. We're going to say, yeah, I'll do these things, won't do these things, or we can lower the price based on the things that you found. But that would make me do it. But otherwise, if it's working and it's not a safety hazard, I'm not doing it. Because otherwise, the only other option is it's cosmetic. And if it's cosmetic, I'm only thinking about, does this bring me extra money? Is there an ROI on this, or is there not? ROI means that if I spend $100 to do this, can I raise the price of this house by $101? If the answer is no, why am I doing it? Okay, so the 4 things. Upgraded design like trim and doors, same thing, ROI. The next is windows and sidings, no thanks. Bathrooms, no thanks, unless it's in the front of the house and it's part of my big 3. And utilities, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. If it's not a safety and liability issue, if it's working, then the codes inspector is going to have to tell me to do it, or the home inspection is going to have to tell me to do it. Guys, anybody got any questions before we hop off for the day? Anybody? Give it a minute here. Any questions? Spending money on house flips that doesn't need to be spent. Took me a long time to learn that there are some things that just look pretty in pictures, and they don't necessarily look pretty in my bank account. And hey, we're in business. We're not talking about cutting corners. Okay, safety and liability. That's the difference. Safety, liability, the crap works. You're not cutting corners, all right? The rest is cosmetic. Anybody got anything before we sign off? Looking at the comments, going once, going twice. Hope you guys have a great day. See you later.